the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
How do you build love for the sake of Allah?
With a person who you naturally don't have a liking to that person.
With a person that you naturally don't have a liking. Naturally you don't have a liking to that person. You must like that person. That's why you are here. Jamaat meaning tariqat, not outside, not social gathering. Here, in Jamaat, inside the tariqat. Because what is pulling you together? The love of Allah and His Prophet and your Shaykh. What's there not to love? You understand? Everything else is just details. It's detail. Everything else is just going to disappear. All the differences is just going to disappear. So what you think they are real differences is just going to disappear. Remember that. Some people you may not like, but to know that it's just a dunya level. Your spirits like, because your spirits are liking the same thing. You understand? So don't put yourself into that situation where you're going to disagree. Don't put yourself in that situation where there's going to be conflict. Pull yourself away and be busy with whatever you're supposed to be busy with. It's not that you are different people. It's just that you haven't discovered yourselves yet. You haven't. So many people we're looking, they hate, or they have disagreement. Let's say hate is too strong a word. They have disagreement with each other. They say, how can this one say these words to me? How can this one say these words to me? Then later, this one is saying, for example, this one is saying very bad words to me. I don't like it. It happens. This is life. Later, this one is saying, I'm in trouble, and this one is the only one who can help me. Now we say, you remember now? He says, yes. It happens. Not once or twice, it happens all the time, whether I say or I don't say. So how do you love that one for the sake of Allah? You look at his spirit. What is he loving? He's loving Allah and His Prophet. That's enough. What is he doing? He's serving. That is enough. He is serving. That is enough. You can't get along. You cannot be in the same room. Don't be in the same room. But don't fight. Don't fight. Prophet is forbidding fighting. Prophet ﷺ is saying, don't argue in matters of religion. He says, don't argue. Even if you're right, don't argue. Especially if you're right, don't argue. It says argument, it takes away the light of faith. It takes away the light of the faith from your heart. You understand? So no argument. No need to argue. You may disagree, you don't like, turn your faces away. There will come a time when you're going to agree. It will always happen. What happens now? When you get more mature, when you understand all this disagreement is just very low level nonsense things. It's nonsense. If you are together worshipping Allah, if you're together serving your Shaykh and holding the Prophet high, why you have to disagree? Now, this is for the sake of Allah. Because for the ego is saying, I don't like this person did something, I don't. But Allah is saying, the believers, they cannot fight. The believers, if they argue with each other, how long they can be angry with each other? 3 days. And, the Ottomans, they're making it even more tasty. What are they saying? As long as it takes, that long it takes for this turban, when it's wet to dry, that much long you can be angry. This turban, as you know, is very thin. It's wet, you do it like this, like this, like this, few minutes, and it gets dry. Who is living tariqat these days? So we sit and we're patient, we're waiting. But the time may expire then that time. When the time is expiring, it's no good. Even if it's something good, it will become bad because the time has expired. So now, for the sake of Allah, you're going to say, this one is like this. He's serving, although I don't like him, but he's doing different things. I must put my head down and say it's none of my business, because it is none of your business. You're following a guide, correct? It is his business. It's not your business. It's not your business to be shaykh or shaykha to each other. There's no shaykha in Islam anyway. It's not your business. It's my business. It is not your business to say to me. Although we are saying, you have something to say, say. Later, don't say, he didn't allow me to say. We say, say. If you don't say, all the heaviness is going to be crushed on you because you don't want to say. The one who is going to say to me, straighten up, do this or that, it is my Shaykh to me. You understand? There is a protocol. But when the ego breaks everything, there's no protocol. Don't you know? Even Shaitan is saying, you are you and I am me. That is your order. I'm not going to follow your order because I don't like that one. Why I have to like that one? He's made from mud. Why I have to like that one? Angels are even telling you that one is going to make mischief in this world. Didn't the angels say? Who is inspiring the angels to say that? Allah. Allah is inspiring the angels to say that. That is also a very destructive part of us, our ego. But that one is stuck there. So many people, they're stuck. That one is stuck there. So he's going to make mischief and you're telling me to make sajda to him. I'm not accepting, he's saying. And he's saying, you made a mistake. You should apologize to me. See? That one, from a small thing, it become a huge thing, he become more stubborn, he become more arrogant. It's a small thing. Everyone can see except for that one. Why is that? This Allah is mentioning, this our Shaykh is mentioning over and over again, and I'm saying this over and over again. Almost every sohbat now, it is for us to take. It is for us to learn. Sohbat is not to sit down and to make nice words and you sit down like an angel and you hear like that. Sohbat is to use when your ego is attacking you, when your shaitan is attacking you. When your desires are attacking you, you pull this and you put your Shaykh in front of that and your feeling. Don't trust your feelings. Who is going to trust them? We are here to trust. We are here to trust our brains. That's why we are here. If we trust our brains, then why are we here? It's because we don't trust our brains that we are here. We say, please, clean it for us. Help us. At some, they get too big. Be careful. Allah is not liking it. The Prophet is not liking it. Awliya Allah, they're not liking it. So, we should all wake up to this. Because now, this is how Dervish must behave. Following tariqat must behave. You cannot one day say, I'm a Dervish, I'm like this, and then next day you say, I'm not going to listen to anything. What is that? Especially with the anger that we are saying this. Just a few days ago, the sohbat that I gave to the women, Maulana is saying, Maulana Rumi is saying, what? With anger, be like a dead body, a dead person. Be like a dead person with anger. One of his golden rules. To who? To dervishes. People who are not following this way, people who are not following tariqat, people who are, it's okay, you get angry, you get angry. And that anger, if you have a gun in your hand, you're going to destroy the one that you love too. We know that. Then you turn the gun to yourself. Every day we're hearing that. But those who are following this path, the path of the prophets, tariqat, Maulana is saying, with anger, be like a dead body. It doesn't mean that you are not going to feel. You feel. Does a dead body feel or no? Yes, it does. It feels everything, which is why the Prophet says, don't wash the dead body with water that is too hot or too cold. But can the dead body now fight back? It cannot. It cannot even move, correct? And there are so many dead bodies, not dead bodies, let's say, bodies. In this 21st century, in this Akhir Zaman, the punishment reached to them even before the grave. We say the first step is the punishment in the grave, no? That is the first step. But 21st century tyrants, the punishment that they put to themselves, not that Allah is putting, they put to themselves even before they reach to the grave, because the majority, they burn their bodies. Majority is saying, we prefer cremation. Can you imagine? You are feeling it, but you cannot do anything. Some new style, burn the body so high, it needs a lot of power, it needs a lot of heat to turn everything into ashes. To turn your bones into ashes, to turn everything. That's why so many of these cremation places is also a big scam. It's a big lying and cheating. They go in there, they turn it on every day, make nice show because they buy nice new wardrobe. Nice new wardrobe for funeral. They're crying. Oh, you're crying? Quickly they take out tissue box for you. And then, thank you. And then later they give you a bill, and the tissue box maybe $2 outside, they charge you $20. Efendi used to tell this kind of sohbats, bringing it a little bit. They turn it on, people go back, they turn it off. And then they take the half-burnt body and they put it in the dumpster. Yeah, it's happening again. If it's happening in the greatest nation on earth, here, imagine what's happening in other nations. And some, they burn so hard, they burn so much, new style, until everything turns to ashes and it becomes a crystal. It becomes like a crystal, it becomes like a stone. It becomes like a glass, and then they take it and they make it into a jewelry, and they make it into a necklace, so I'm wearing my grandmother. Very nice. I love her so much, I want to be with her. What a punishment. Continuously until Judgment Day, that one is feeling. Man lost his mind. Before the grave, imagine now inside the grave. Imagine now on the Day of Judgment. Imagine now in the fire. May Allah protect us. So we should not punish ourselves. We should not punish ourselves. So many, they are just punishing yourself. Stop that. Grow up a little bit. So, we should all grow up. Understand, what are you here for? This. Okay. Leave all the differences aside. Allah is not Allah saying to the believers, you must even live with kufr? Yes or no? Yes or no? You must even live with unbelievers? Isn't Allah teaching us you must also live with shaitan, with your ego? Allah could also say, this is how you kill your ego, this is how you kill shaitan, this is how you kill everything, and just that is not the way of the Prophet ﷺ, that is not the way of Allah. And there is a wisdom there. As Maulana again saying, if you're going to complain about every rub that happens to you, everything that rubs you the wrong way, if you're going to complain, how are you going to be polished? How are you going to be polished? So now the polishing of the heart is not just saying La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah like that, but it is to put Allah before your ilah. To put Allah, meaning your Prophet, meaning your Shaykh, those teachings before you're putting them, and to say, I don't exist. My anger doesn't exist. Fighting against that. Illallah. Except for Allah. That is how you're going to polish. Otherwise, I've seen so many people, they La ilaha illallah, but you touch them a little bit, they explode. But you look at them, they're like a saint. So inshallah, loving for Allah's sake and hating for Allah's sake. That is important, because we talk a lot also about hating for Allah's sake, no? But we don't speak so much about loving for Allah's sake. Loving for Allah's sake is not just loving those ones that you love to love. You must love those ones that you don't like to love, but only because it is, just because for Allah's sake you will love. Just because for your Shaykh's sake you will love. You don't like it. Every fiber in your body says, ah, but you're going to just put your head down. You're going to say, okay, if my Shaykh loves that one, if the Prophet loves that one, then I should not have any problem with that. Although I have, it's not real, it's going to go away. You do so many things to yourself, fighting, Jihadul Akbar, fighting. This is Jihadul Akbar. You think tariqat is so easy? It was so easy, it's just making a couple of zikr, dressing up like this, listening to nice sohbat. Why is it the greatest struggle? Why is it the greatest struggle? Not the greater, the greatest. So find, what is your greatest struggle? Who is your greatest enemy? So many is going to say, it's this one, it's this one. They're not going to say shaitan. They're not going to say their ego. This one is my greatest enemy. Yani, of course, shaitan and ego, but this one. I say, Yahu, the way you scream at that one, you don't even scream to your ego. Because the one who is stepping on his ego, you can see the nur that is coming out. You can. But you scream at that one, darkness will come to you. You ever seen a person who is angry with nur coming out from his face? It's a darkness, correct? But if you're struggling with your ego, nur comes because Allah will pity you. His Prophet will pity you. The Shaykh looks at all of us like we are children, and when we are fighting, you see the child, he's so sleepy but he's trying to keep awake because you say don't sleep, or he wants to eat that chocolate and you say don't, and he's sitting and your heart melts, correct? Even if he does something wrong, he comes to you and he says, I'm sorry. Your heart melts. That is how they're looking at us in reality. But we are not children, one thing, because children cannot do damage. You ever hear children? Of course, these days, Ahir Zaman, you find little children doing all sorts of evil things, but as a given, as a general thing, children, they're not starting war. Children, they're not killing. Children, they're not doing all this evil. But the adults do. They look at us as children, but our actions are the actions of adults. We are responsible. May Allah make us to wake up, inshallah. And not to be confused. To hold on tightly to our Shaykh and no one else. Not to be confused. May Allah take out confusion from our hearts and from our jamat, and from everything that is going to bring us away from what our Shaykh is teaching us. May Allah bring more understanding to those ones who are in difficulty. May Allah forgive me and bless you for the sake of our Shaykh and Holy Prophet. Al-Fatiha. Amin.